Goblet of Fire by J.K. Rowling. Chapter 1. The Riddle House, Part 3. Something was slithering towards him along the dark corridor floor, and as it drew nearer to the silver of firelight, he realized with a thrill of terror that it was a gigantic snake, at least 12 feet long. However, transfixed, Frank stared at it until telling Buddy cut a wide, curving crack through the thick dust on the floor, coming closer and closer. What was he to do? The only means of escape that was into the room where two men sat plotting murder, yet if he stayed back with the snake would surely kill him. But before he had made his decision, the snake was level with him. Then, incredibly miraculously, it was passing. It was following the spitting, hissing noises made by the cold voice beyond the door, and in seconds, the tip of its diamond-spattered tail had vanished through the gap. There was a sweat on Frank's forehead now, and he had hand on the walking stick was trembling. Inside the room, his good voice was continued to hiss, and Frank was visited by a strange idea, an impossible idea. This man could talk to snakes. Frank didn't understand what was going on. He wanted more than anything to be back in his bed with his whole water bottle. The problem was, stood there shaking and trying to master himself. He could notice switched everything to English again. Nagini has interesting news, Montel, he said. Indeed, my lord? Indeed, yes, said the voice. According to Nagini, there is an old muggle standing right outside this room, listening to every word we say. Frank didn't have a chance to hide himself. There were footsteps, and then the door of the room was flung wide open. A short, balding man with gray-owned hair, a pointed nose, and small woody eyes stood before Frank, a mixture of fear and alarm on his face. Invite him aside, Montail. Where are your manners? The cold voice was coming from the ancient armchair before the fire, but Frank couldn't hear the speaker. The snake, on the other hand, was curled up on the rotting hearthrug, like some horrible travesty of a bad dog. Montail beckoned Frank into the room. Through his deeply shaken, Frank took a firmer grip upon his walking sticks and limped toward the threshold. The fire was the only source of light in the room. It was casting long, spidery shadows upon the walls. Frank stared at the back of the armchair. The man inside it seemed to be even smaller than his servant, for Frank couldn't even see the back of his head. You heard everything, Muggle? Said the cold voice. What is that you calling me? Said Frank, definitely, for now that he was inside the room. Now that the time had come for some sort of action, he felt braver. It had always been so in the world. I'm calling you a Muggle, said the Walt coldly. It means that you are not a wizard. I don't know what you mean by wizard, said Frank, his voice growing steadier. All I know is I've never had around to interest the police tonight. I have. You have done murder and you are planning more. And I have to tell you this too, he added in sudden desperation. My wife knows I'm up here. And if I don't come back, you have no wife, said the voice, very quietly. Nobody knows you are here. You told nobody that you were coming. Do not lie to Lord Voldemort, Muggle, for he knows. He always knows. Is that right? Said Frank roughly. Lord, is it? Oh, well, I don't think much of your manners, my lord. Turn around and face me like a man, why don't you? But I'm not a man, Muggle, said the cold voice, barely audible now by the crack in the flames. I'm much, much more than a man. However, why not? I will face you, Wormtail. I will face you. Wormtail, come turn my chair around. The servant gave a whistle. You heard me, Wormtail. Slowly, his face screwed up, as though he would be rather have done anything than approach his master and reheard the rug where the snake lay. The small man walked towards and began to turn the chair. The snake lifted its ugly triangular head and hissed slightly as the legs of the chair snagged on its rug. And then the chair was facing Frank, and the saw that was screaming so loudly that he had never heard the words the thing in the chair spoke as it raced along. There was a flash of green light, a rushing sound, a Frank Bryce clumped. He was dead before he hit the floor. 200 miles away, the boy called Harry Potter woke